This is going to be on the minister's itinerary, is it?
Possibly. This place is always open to the public.
Yeah, well, it's a cemetery.
You're going to have to post men. This place is very vulnerable. Look there, for example.
Well, I don't think there's much of a risk, Major.
Lieutenant Colonel. I was promoted by the Presidium 10 days ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. There's always a risk, Mr. Jordan.
Yes, well, maybe in Russia, but not in Highgate Cemetery.
Perhaps you wouldn't be so complacent if it was your minister.
I'm not complacent.
In my country, this would be a national monument with a guard of honor day and night.
Yes, well, Karl Marx is not exactly one of our national heroes.
Well, the importance of Marx is what he wrote, it is true, rather than where his corpse is buried. But a guard would not be ill-fitting.
Well, we look after it.
It is very important to us.
Yes. Wasn't it Lenin who said that Bolshevism as a movement started here in London?
You read Lenin?
I do my homework.
You should honor Marx more. After all, we issue a postage stamp to Robert Burns. He was an Englishman.
Now, don't you let Superintendent Inman hear you say that.
Don't say what?
That Burns is an Englishman.
Oh, yes, I understand. But then you call me a Russian and I'm Ukrainian. We make the same mistake, no?
Mm-hmm.
Did you show it to him?
Yes, sir.
And did he fall on his knees?
Not quite. Did you know he's been made a lieutenant colonel?
KGB don't send me the promotion list.
You know, you were right about him. He speaks excellent English.
I wish I spoke Russian half as well. Where is he now?
Well, I dropped him at the embassy and he said, don't wait, so I came back.
Did he? You're not his chauffeur, you know?
No, sir.
Just carry out the normal procedure.
Yes.
For the protection of VIPs.
Yes, sir.
Assist Colonel Kamarov in his reasonable requirements and make damn sure he does not interfere.
Yes, sir. Well, when are they going to announce the minister's visit?
What?
Announce the minister's visit, sir.
Oh, 24 hours before he arrives.
Oh, good. No need to give troublemakers a timetable, is there?
No, but we have to be prepared for trouble.
Ah, yes, sir.
Elliot, Whitehall is very keen on this particular visit. Everything must go smoothly.
Yes, sir.
Now, just you convince Kamarov that it will.
Kamarov, sir.
What?
Kamarov.
Yes. Well, the point is this, you see, that if they want to call the visit off for any reason, they can always use lack of adequate security as an excuse. Just don't give them the chance.
Is there anything else you want to,
No.
Oh, fine.
I'm only asking you to work together, you know? You don't have to fall in love with a man.
Well, actually, I quite like him. He's a very likable fellow.
I have given Mr. Moxon a list of provocateurs.
A list of what?
Emigres, agitators, troublemakers, people who might cause difficulties.
May I have a look at each one? Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Oh, yes. Names, an address, even telephone. Who made this up? One of your men in London?
This must be very useful to Special Branch, Jordan. How many names are there?
1, 2, 3, 4,
There are 10
5,
in all.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, yeah.
Of course, the list is 2 years old. You might be able to add to it.
I'm sure the Chief Inspector's people are a little more up to date.
Excellent. And perhaps you'll let me have your list as soon as possible.
No, that won't be possible.
I do not understand.
Well, our files are confidential.
But surely we are cooperating. I have given you my list, you give me your list.
I can't give information on people within our own jurisdiction.
This is a very bad beginning, is it not? Mr. Moxon.
This is not really my territory.
It is very boring when security men get together. I'm sure we can sort this out, correct?
Of course. As a matter of fact, I will leave you to it. I'm supposed to be in 3 places at once. Oh, I was wondering, Colonel Kamarov, if you have a free evening, perhaps we could get together, perhaps Covent Garden?
I regret I have not much of an ear for opera.
Well, actually, I was thinking of the ballet. Perhaps not as good as your Bolshoi, but Nureyev is dancing on Friday. Perhaps. Anyway, we really must do something. Good day, Colonel. Jordan?
Mr. Moxon.
My friend, we have such men with us too.
Yeah.
Usually they go far.
Well, he probably will.
Here.
Oh, no. No, thank you.
They're not as poisonous as they look. Half of them are cardboard.
I know. I don't like them. Thank you.
Now, my friend,
Yeah?
what do you know about my minister?
Well, now, what is there to know?
His background.
He's 54. He's a member of the Central Committee. What else is there to know?
Russians are a very emotional people when it comes to their families. They keep a strong hold on their families. They do not like to see them torn from their homeland.
What are you getting at?
This minister was for years in charge of the department handling visas and exit permits.
Oh, I understand.
There were many he had to refuse for their own sake.
Yes, of course.
And there are many people in this country who do not understand. Emigres, agitators. There are many people who have been misled by your press.
Come in.
Would you like a cup of tea, Colonel?
Colonel, would you like a cup of tea or perhaps a cup of coffee?
Ah, this is the hour in England we hear so much about. Yes, I would like some tea.
Tea, good tea, Morrissey.
2 slices of lemon, please.
That's Russian tea, Morrissey.
Yes.
And some of these people here with trouble with the visa.
They have
they're on
caused
the-
severe provocations.
Well, you don't blame them, do you?
I do not make the law, I merely promote it. That is what English policemen always say.
Enforce it, actually.
Enforce it.
Yeah.
Soviet policemen also say the same thing.
No, I mean, some of these people here, they just want to marry the Russian girls and take them out of the country. You wouldn't have that out
If
of the
they want to marry Russian girls, let them come and live in our
Yeah,
country.
but these fellows are British.
Exactly. You look after your people and I will look after mine.
Well, they're hardly security risks, are they? I mean, this fellow, Peter Watson, all he wants to do is get his
He has
fiancée out of the
caused provocations.
country. Well, I can't arrest him.
I'm very sorry, sir.
Thank you, Morrissey.
Thank you.
Nothing I can do about it.
Chief Inspector, there was a man once who was known to the police. They had a file on him. But they thought he was harmless and they did nothing.
And?
It was in Dallas, Inspector. His name was Oswald.
What has this to do with the police? Well, we do a lot of inquiries for the Home Office.
Then you should know that my fiancée is still where she has been.
Would you like a
for the
cigarette?
No, thank you, I don't want one. She's still where she's been for the past 6 years, stuck in Moscow.
So you've had no luck in getting an exit visa for her?
Obviously not.
When did you last hear from the Russians?
6 months ago.
Oh, yeah, what did they say?
K chortu!
I beg your pardon.
Get knotted, loosely translated.
And did you write back?
Yes.
What did you say?
What I've been saying all along. That I wasn't going to give up. I even
Yes.
got all worked up about personal freedom. Yes, I reminded them that Russia signed the UN Declaration of Human Rights. Human rights.
You're really bitter, don't you?
How am I supposed to feel?
Well, according to our records, you forced your way into the Soviet embassy in 1966 and had to be thrown out.
Yes, well, a couple of drinks and I'll take on the world. I just wanted to see the ambassador and I didn't get past the flunky at the door.
Yeah, and you were fined £2 for causing obstruction in Brook Street during the visit of Mr. Kazygin and Mr.
I just
Brezhnev.
wanted to hand them a letter pleading for a visa for Ludmilla.
Yes, well, I mean, £2. Not really very serious, was it?
It was serious enough for you to dig it up out of your files. Incidentally, why all this sudden interest because of me? Has the glorious revolution got the wind up because of me or something?
Of course, you do still intend to marry Miss Cherekiva, don't you?
Unfortunately for you, gentlemen, we happen to be in love. And we're going to get married even if it takes us 50 years, no matter how much it annoys the bureaucrats, in the Kremlin and in the Foreign Office.
Yes, but you haven't seen her for 6 years, have you?
It's been rough, yes. But we write and we phone. And we think about each other. And that's her.
Oh, yes, very nice. breaking the law isn't going to help either of you, is it?
Who's breaking the law? Oh, I see. Yes. Don't worry, I won't break into any more embassies. I won't picket anybody.
Yeah. That'd be much wiser, you know. Well, I think that's all I wanted anyway.
But I won't stop trying to get her out. Now you just go off, and you tell your people that. And you tell them that maybe nobody cares about us, but I'll get her out. Somehow. And I won't stop harassing them until I do.
Harass, Mr. Watson?
Yes.
I thought you said you weren't going to cause any trouble. Now, what the hell do you mean, harass?
Just that. In any way I can. You'd be surprised what one man can do.
You really must be joking, you know. Goodbye.
Too hot.
Mr. Moxon was right. You have a nice view.
Yes, I suppose so.
What is better than mine in Dzerzhinsky Street?
But your office is there?
Dzerzhinsky Street, KGB headquarters, what you call KGB.
Oh, yes.
My window looks straight across the street to a department store across the road.
Oh, I've got one.
Yes, but your view is very much nicer. This is a fine modern building.
Yes, yes. Isn't yours?
In Tsarist days, mine was an insurance office. We need something better.
Oh, look, I've had it. Let's call it a day. I am tired.
You are right, my friend. And now, I will take you and buy you a half mild and bitter.
Half mild and bitter. No, I tell you what, I will go and buy you a Bloody Mary.
Please?
A Bloody Mary?
What is that?
It's vodka with tomato juice.
Forget the tomato juice.
Okay. Tell me, do you know anybody in London?
Oh, a couple of people at my embassy.
You plan to see them socially?
Thank you. I will tell you a secret, my friend. They are very dull. They invite me to their dinner parties, they invite me to their country club. They are very boring. So I have a better idea. Why do I not take you to dinner?
Oh, that's very kind, but you see, I
know.
made a...
Mrs. Jordan. Of course you must bring her. I'd like to meet
No,
her.
I'm not married. No.
Then you must bring her.
Well, no, you see, I had made this, I think...
She is pretty?
Oh,
You like her?
I like her,
Very
yes,
well, I
but-
will like her too. Now,
It's a
where
little-
do we meet?
No, it's a little difficult, you see, because...
I make this an official request. Tell me the place.
All right.
But I don't want to meet your bloody Russian. You were an hour late. You couldn't bloody telephone me, could you? I'd given you up completely. I'd even taken my face off.
Oh, but you look lovely.
I don't look lovely. I've got an eye full of glue. You're mucking me about, Elliot.
Look, we have been lumbered. I've got to look after this man, and he wants to take us to dinner.
Well,
What's
I did presume it might just be the two of us.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. We'll have dinner with him, and then I'll get rid of him, and then we can spend the evening together. Now, that would be nice. How about
Well, who is he, anyway? What are you doing, entertaining Russians?
No, he's a very important man. He's one of their security men, and his name is Komarov.
Well, tell your boss to take him out. Say we've made other arrangements.
Look, are you going to come with me, or are you not going to come? Just you let me know. Just let me know.
I wish you'd leave your rotten job at the office.
How can I leave it at the office?
Don't switch off the lights.
All right, I'll switch off the light. But I'm supposed to look after this man. I can't just go by myself.
Would you like a sweet?
Thank you.
Are you married, Mr. Komarov?
Colonel Komarov.
Oh, Andrei, please. How can one be formal with such a charming young lady?
Are you?
A charming young lady. I'm a widower. I have a son doing his military service with the rocket troops. I have a daughter, Sasha, who's training to be an electronics engineer.
Electronic engineer, eh?
What do you do, Miss Ross?
Charlotte. We're not being formal, remember? I design.
Oh,
Clothes.
Which are much too expensive for anybody to buy.
this is a living. Designing clothes that are too expensive to buy. Wouldn't you prefer to do something useful?
Yeah, like an electronic engineer.
Correct?
Would you like some more coffee?
I think I have an idea. Why do we not go to a pub? I have not yet been to an English pub.
No, you can't. You see, they're all shut.
Why?
Licensing laws. 11 o'clock. They all close. No more drinks.
For everyone?
Only pubs.
You can drink in a club after hours.
But then you've got to be a member.
I do not wish to provoke, but this seems to me very unfair. If the worker in the pub must stop drinking at 11 o'clock, and the aristocrat in the club can drink all night.
No, actually, I think you'll find a lot of the aristocrats in the pubs and most of the workers in the clubs now.
You should see some of those working men's clubs in the north of England.
We were quite right to defend your country. Waiter,
Where are you staying in London?
at an hotel in Bayswater that my embassy very often uses.
Oh, yes, I know the one.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Thank you. No, please, this is my
Are you
invitation.
sure?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Very
It was
kind.
delightful, Andre.
Not fish and chips, but chicken Kiev and Sadyadina Stroganoff.
What?
Beef Stroganoff. Gratuities.
That means tips.
Tipping degrades.
I think they'll be more degraded if you don't give them anything.
10%, is that correct?
That's fine, but...
You know, every time I travel abroad, I gain 5 kilograms. Now, my friends, what kind of nightlife do they have in this marvelous city?
Well, come back to my place.
the Colonel and I, we have a very
Just
early...
for a night.
You're very
Dad.
kind, but the English have a saying, I understand. 2 is company and 3 is none.
We've got
It is
a-
very...
Not at
early.
all. I make very good coffee.
we have to
Don't
be-
I, Elliot?
I don't want to intrude.
Oh, there's nothing to intrude on.
Very well, then. I accept with delight.
Good.
I thought we'd agreed we'd get rid of him and we'd spend the evening together.
But
Why did you ask him back?
I think he's fabulous. Come along, Elliot. What did you call it? I'm sorry about the climb. I'm hoping they're going to put a lift in one day. There we are. Oh, Elliot, give Andre a drink. I shall be second.
Fine, fine. What would you like to drink? A vodka?
Without tomato juice.
Okay. And, I'll have a vodka as well. Tell me, would you like some ice in it?
No, thank you very much.
Do you mind if I have some ice? I don't want to be a minute.
What do you want?
Ice.
Strangely enough, it's in the fridge.
Thank you very much.
Oh, for goodness sake, Elliot, there's no need to break the ice tray.
Couldn't you put it in a bowl?
Oh, I didn't know we were going to come back to drinks, did I?
You are a very fortunate man, Mr. Jordan, to have such an attractive mistress.
She is a friend.
I understand. Forgive me, my English is very good, but sometimes I translate from the Russian a little too literally.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is her apartment.
Yeah.
You should marry her at once, my friend.
You must be joking.
If a girl in Moscow had an apartment like this, she would not stay single for longer than 48 hours. Central heating?
Yeah, central heating.
The bathroom?
Bathroom's through there.
You should marry her immediately.
Oh, sit down.
You'll both have coffee.
Well, no, we'll just have a drink and
It's
then we'll go.
already
Because don't
on.
bother.
My friend,
Yeah.
there is just one point. I hate to mix business with our pleasure.
Well, let's bring it up in the morning.
No.
eh?
No. This is very important. I want you to think about it. Peter Watson.
Peter Watson, what about him?
And we have examined all our suspects and you have them under surveillance. Watson is dangerous.
Oh, come on.
He has admitted that he wants to harm us.
No, Harris was the word he used.
He is a threat to my minister which cannot be ignored.
Look, why don't we talk about this in the morning, okay?
Elliot, I am going to insist that he be detained
Now, wait a minute. What do you mean by detained?
for the duration of the visit.
Look, he'll be kept under surveillance like all the others.
No, I'm sorry, that is not sufficient.
Now, look, listen to me now. I mean, we can't arrest the man. He hasn't done anything.
No, I'm sorry, I do not understand. He is a positive threat to the safety of our subject.
Look, we can't have him held. We have no power
I'm sorry,
to
I do not-
hold him.
I-
What you're asking me is impossible.
I do not understand that. I'm sorry. Watching him is not enough. He will have to be restricted. You will have to find a way, Chief Inspector. Get him out of the way. Lose him. I'm sorry, I must insist. My government insists.
Oh, you're not talking shop again, are you?
A small matter, forgive us.
Well, you can both stop it.
Look,
right
when,
now.
when you finish your coffee, Colonel, I'll take you back to your place.
It's
all
very
right?
kind of you.
Coffee, Andre.
Thank you.
Coffee. Elliot. Are you going to stay long in England?
Well, that depends, doesn't it?
Kamarov asked you to detain him.
That's what he said.
And what did you say?
Said we couldn't.
And he said you must.
Yeah, my government insists.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, why is he so worried about Watson, anyway? He's got other names on the list.
Well, I think he thinks that Watson is someone who might do something about it. There was that incident in the Russian embassy, and then outside Kosygин's hotel.
Why won't they give this guild a visa, do you know?
Well, if you ask me, I think he's made such a fuss that he's blown any chance he might have had of getting the girl out.
Says here they haven't seen each other since 1963.
Yes, sir.
God, that's a long time to be separated. Does he still want to marry her?
That's what it says in the report.
I hope you gentlemen have considered a somewhat unromantic possibility.
What's that?
That this unconsummated affair with the Russian girl has become a sort of obsession with Mr. Watson.
Well, you can call it what you like. The man is his rights. We can't put him out of the way just to suit Colonel Kamarov.
It's very important, Superintendent, that we give the Russians no excuse to say our
Mr.
precautions
Watson, I know that only
inadequate.
too well.
By the way, Jordan, how did you enjoy your evening with the Colonel?
Oh, very pleasant. He was very relaxed.
You two stayed quite late at Miss Ross's flat.
Were you having us watched?
Well, Mr. Moxon?
Oh, gentlemen, please. I give no orders. But it seems that some of my people were keeping a discreet eye on
Do you
Colonel
mean to
Kamarov.
tell me that you had one of my officers under surveillance?
You got it completely wrong, both of you. My side of it is watching Kamarov, and he happened to be spending the evening with Mr. Jordan.
You checking on Miss Rose?
The report merely noted where you went after the restaurant.
I want to make a formal complaint about
All right, Inspector, all right. Now, Mr. Moxon, what is going on?
Nothing at all. You gentlemen are concerned with the security arrangements for the minister's visit. Other gentlemen are interested in Kamarov as a matter of routine. The two are quite separate.
I don't like a check on a friend of mine, sir.
If you happen to take KGB officers to her flat, my dear chap, somebody is bound to take notice.
Sir.
All right, all right. We've got a lot of work to do.
I couldn't agree with you more, Superintendent. Let's concentrate on the things that matter, like our frustrated lovers.
All right, I'm coming. Elliot!
You took a long
What
time
on
to
earth are you doing here? Oh, I'm in an awful rush. I've got to be at Sloane Square at 12 o'clock.
Yes, fine. Look, just listen to me for a minute, will you? No, stop the sewing for a minute.
But, Elliot...
Shush! Has anybody been asking you any questions?
What about? Who?
No, about last night, about Kamarov here, the dinner, anything.
Why on earth should they?
Has anything unusual happened to you?
I don't understand.
Is your phone working all right?
Oh, Elliot, stop being so mysterious.
Now, look. If your phone plays up or if you notice you're being followed or someone tries to chat you up, you let me know. Ring me at the yard immediately, all right?
What is all this about?
Look, I don't want to go into details now, but someone was watching this flat last night, and if they do it again, I want to know, and I want to know officially, all right?
Do you mean the Russians? Oh, you're not serious.
No, I don't think it's the Russians, but if you see anything or anything happens, you let me know. Now, get on with your sewing, all right? See you later.
I wish I knew what goes on with you.
Someday I might tell you all about it.
Oh, God.
We file him under N for nutcases.
Oh, why?
All letters to the editor, written stacks. We print 1 in 10.
That make him a nutcase?
Well, not quite, no. He's got that sort of intensity that gives me the creeps. No one-track mind about one subject. Holy rollers, door-to-door evangelists, they've all got it. Ah, fanatics.
Oh, one of those, huh?
Why are you so interested in him?
Oh, nothing. Just bringing our records up to date.
Oh, come off it, Alec. Special branch are curious about Mr. Watson for a very good reason.
Are they?
I was on the Kosygin visit, remember? Wrote a piece about Watson getting arrested.
Pat, you know what they say about yesterday's news. Can I take all of these?
Well, our diplomatic man's got a piece in tomorrow. It'll interest you. All about the proposed visit to London of one of their more, controversial ministers.
Now, how did you get hold of that?
That's why you're checking up on people like Watson, isn't it?
What makes you think I'm worried about anybody like Watson?
He's a man with a grudge, isn't he?
Got it. Oh, he's got to say for himself.
Hello, John? Speaking. Peter Watson. Hello. You've seen the papers? Yes. You've seen us coming over here? Yes, I have. I was just Let's meet. All right. Tomorrow. Usual place.
It's no use, he knows he's being listened to.
Yeah, I'm afraid he does, sir.
Who are his friends?
Oh, students mainly. A few others.
Tell me, have they got any form?
No, not really. Except, that one. Cannabis, 20 quid last year.
Do you want a cup of coffee?
Yes.
Pour
Thank
it.
you, sir.
Pour it. Well, they all look pretty cloak and dagger, these photographs.
Yeah, well, they were all taken after news that the visit appeared in the press. Before then, he hadn't moved off his backside.
Exactly.
What does the Colonel think, sir?
The Colonel thinks a hell of a lot.
Vedici?
Chief Inspector Jordan of the British Special Branch, sir.
Sholoff. Sholoff. So good of you to come. Please sit down.
Thank you.
My government is very appreciative
No, thank you, sir.
that you are giving Colonel Komarov so much cooperation. However, there is just this one little problem.
Mr. Sholoff, I believe you were here in 1966.
Oh, yes, this is when the incident happened.
And the anniversary reception.
This man, his name Watson, broke in like a hooligan.
And you were involved.
Da, I threw him out, personally.
You should have arrested him then, Chief Inspector.
No charge was made.
Yeah, so that would not have been necessary in my country. This was a clear provocation.
Do you remember exactly what he said, Tovarich Sholoff?
Oh, it was something about this girl from Stroppy Dog he had met, something like this.
Stop it all?
It's near to Moscow.
I see.
What did he say when you threw him out, sir?
He made threats.
What kind of threats?
He said that he had not finished with us, that we would remember. The man was quite hysterical.
Anything else, sir?
He made trouble at the hotel where Chairman Brezhnev and Premier Kosygin were staying.
I believe he just wanted to deliver a letter.
Oh, but this was a very dangerous incident. He was waiting for our party. Who knows what could have happened?
With the greatest respect, sir, I think you might be overemphasizing this.
Yes, well, it is my duty to inform you, Chief Inspector, that we are holding you responsible for all adequate precautions to be taken. Our security organs regard this man a danger.
You see, Chief Inspector, it is now on an official level.
Yes, well, all immediate plans have been taken.
I am delighted to hear it. But Komarov here must be satisfied.
Of course.
Otherwise, the Foreign Ministry may consider it unwise to continue with this visit. This would be very unfortunate for the relations between our two countries.
Well, I am only a policeman, sir.
So is Komarov. Between the two of you, you will arrange it.
Goodbye, sir.
Tovarich Sholoff.
He reminds me of Moxon.
The Moxons of this world are international. There are some...
Peter Watson?
Oh, darling, it's me.
Just a minute.
I had to ring you, Peter. It's about the weekend.
I'll ring you back. I'm busy.
Well, 6 years is a long time to wait for it.
The weekend, she said.
When does the minister actually arrive?
Friday night.
8:15.
Heathrow, sir?
Yeah. Look, we got no evidence to hold him.
I would like to know what a man has to do in this country before the police can arrest him.
Well, he's got to break the law, and Peter Watson hasn't.
What about this other woman?
What about him?
Who is she? What is their relationship? It's important to understand.
Don't know yet.
And why don't you ask him? Interrogate Watson.
What? Now, look here, Watson wouldn't give anything away, you know. I know his type too well.
Under stress? You never know about people, my friend.
Stress? Look, You mean violence? No, you forget it. We don't do that.
No one?
Well, I don't.
Oh. Have you never, let's say, lost your temper? What about in Cyprus during the Troubles? You're telling me that working with those terrorists, you always remained cool and detached in your examination?
No, not detached, no, but no rubber hose tongue.
I'm very impressed. Congratulations. I can only say that if my colleagues' wives had been shot down in the streets, it would have been...
This does not concern you, you know.
What does concern me, Chief Inspector, are the security precautions to protect my minister when he sets foot in this country on Friday, and if I may say so. It's concern you too.
What are you implying?
I don't imply, I simply state. And I state that your security precautions are inadequate.
Now, you listen to me.
It is my professional opinion.
All right.
He'll have VIP motorcycle escort, special branch car, and radio car the whole time. Now then. He turns out of Park Lane into Upper Brook Street there.
Well, at least he won't do a Nixon on us and start walking amongst the crowds.
They're too well trained, those Russian gentlemen. Now then, dinner at the embassy. Well, that's no problem. We close off Kensington Palace Gardens. What about Highgate?
Oh, Karl Marx homage now. Kamarov, he thinks that's a very high security risk area.
He's just trying to make it difficult for us.
You know, I can understand his point of view.
Kamarov's?
Kamarov's. Now, here we've got a man like Watson. Now, we know he wants to do something. The man's got a grudge. Do you know, if we could lock him up, we'd have no problems, would we?
Jordan, if we had a curfew every night at 10 o'clock, the crime rate would be cut by half, but that's no solution.
Yeah, but they do say that a policeman's job is to prevent crime. But we don't even have a thing like preventive arrest, do we, until the writ's over?
Listen, your brief was to cooperate with Kamarov, not become his disciple.
Well, anyway, something like Defense Regulation 18B would be very useful.
18B, McGranny, we had enough of that during the war. The end does not justify the means.
Sometimes I wonder.
Central 8 to base. He's leaving the house now. He's going towards Primrose Hill. Following. Out. Okay.
Hello, Peter.
Hello?
They sat on a bench for a while, then he put his arm round her. There's a bit of "How's your father?" and they walked off across Primrose Hill. I wonder what his Russian bird would say.
After 6 years, I wonder what she's doing.
Yeah, well, this one's married, sir.
Is she?
Mrs. Mary Pierce, her husband is abroad at the moment.
That's very convenient. Where do they live?
Bayswater.
Get on to Central 8 about
Yes,
that.
but there's one thing you should know about Mrs. Mary Pierce.
Huh?
Her flat practically overlooks the Russian consulate.
Scotland Yard.
Listen and listen carefully, because I'm only going to say this once.
Can I have your name and number, please?
Shut up and listen. Tell your special branch people we don't like communists. If this Russian comes over here, he won't live to go home.
Who is that?
Never mind. Just tell that to special branch.
Good.
Come on, Peter.
I've got 3 more shots.
Let's go somewhere else.
Go on. Just 3 more shots. Here we go.
Satisfied now?
It's a great feeling. Right through the center.
We're not going to solve anything doing this. We have to talk.
Oh, well, never mind.
What's got into you with all this shooting, anyway?
Just 1 more shot. Nobody can touch us.
Look, I have a home and a husband. I can't destroy it like this.
It's not bad. Straight through the heart.
Sometimes you frighten me.
This is a good vantage point.
Too good. I'd hate to think what a sniper with a telescopic sight could do from here.
Well, we'll have someone up here with a walkie-talkie.
Trouble is, you can't have one on every roof. Like a haystack, isn't it? And we don't even know if there's a needle to find.
Yes, but if there is a needle...
Well, I'll tell you this, Jordan. You can have a man on every roof, and every doorway behind every building, and you still won't stop a fanatic bent on mischief. Right. We'll have the street by the hotel closed to all traffic. That'll reassure Kamarov at least.
Well, I hope so, sir.
Tell him we'll have the minister's hotel covered from every angle.
Do you still think that phone call was from a crank?
How should I know? I'm just hoping that if the man meant it, he wouldn't have tipped us off beforehand.
I wonder if it was Watson.
Why don't you ask him?
What, you want me to pull him in?
No. It wouldn't surprise me if he wants to unbutton his soul to you one of these days.
You make it sound as if he needs a father confessor.
Maybe he does. Did you tell the people who we were?
Yes, sir. Council inspectors looking for 40 stonework. A routine survey.
Maybe they'd have worried less if you'd told them who we really were.
Scotland Yard?
Yes.
Could you put me through to special branch, please?
Yes, do you know the extension number, sir?
I don't know the number. No, just put me through to special branch, please. Someone in authority.
This is our man, Mr. Moxon. These photographs were taken in the last 24 hours.
By Chief Inspector Jordan and his people?
No. I wanted you to see them so that you would also know that we have been following him.
I thought all this was being left to special branch.
Of course, but this man is very dangerous. The more eyes that follow him, the better.
I'm sure there's no need to duplicate efforts.
I agree, but we have good reason for showing you these.
Yes?
To prove that we are not sitting back idly.
You mean you have some of your men working over here, Colonel?
I mean, Mr. Moxon, that we are very worried.
Perhaps this might interest your colleagues. You will recognize the second man.
I don't think I do.
His name is Morrissey. He works in Chief Inspector Jordan's office. While Mr. Morrissey was following Watson, he did not apprehend that he too was being followed. That's very amusing, is it not?
Yeah, very amusing indeed.
You want to see me about Mr. Watson?
Are you in authority? I mean, do you give the orders?
What do you want?
My phone is being tapped. I'm being followed wherever I go. I've been interrogated. I think my letters are being opened. Now, what crime have I committed?
Well, if you've been at all inconvenienced...
What have I done? That's what I want to know.
It's what you might do that worries us a little.
You don't mean the visit of this Russian minister, do you? The one I read about?
It's been in the newspapers, yeah.
You don't think I'd try and spoil this minister's visit, do you? I suppose you've every right to suspect me, considering what I've done. But believe me, nothing could be further from the truth. I actually came here with the hope of making friends. I wanted to say that I was sorry. Brought you a present.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. What is it?
It's for you. You are in authority.
Yeah.
Open it.
Later, Mr. Watson.
Don't you want it? Or don't you trust me? Is that it? It's not a bomb. Though I'm afraid you'll have to take my word for that. But, I mean, how could I just walk through the middle of Scotland Yard carrying a parcel full of explosives? Enough to blow this office to pieces, just let's say. It's not possible. Is it?
What are you trying to tell me, Mr. Watson?
Just that you get so solemn with all your security and your precautions. But you couldn't stop someone who really wanted to do something? Now, I just don't happen to be that man. And I'm not even going to be in London during this VIP's visit.
Really?
Well, I'm going away for a few days.
Where are you going?
Spend a weekend in the country. I'm going up North Yorkshire.
I hope the weather stays fine for you.
Oh, I'll let you have the address where I'll be staying. And I'm catching the 10:15 train.
10:15? Thank you.
Now, all I ask is that you leave the girl alone.
What girl?
Do you know who I mean?
What, your Russian fiancée?
No, Inspector, not Miss...
What girl?
You know perfectly well. I've seen your men following us while I've been with her. I'm getting to know their raincoats.
We're not interested in your acquaintances, Mr. Watson.
Really? I find that very hard to believe. Every time I talk to somebody, one of your men is watching.
We're not interested in Mrs. Pierce.
Look, I've seen a car parked outside her house with 2 men inside.
Traffic is very busy around there.
Just you forget about her. I won't be in London, and she isn't involved in anything.
I didn't think she was until you mentioned it. Constable, would you see Mr. Watson out, please? Oh, Mr. Watson, you'll have to give me your pass. I'll have to sign it, otherwise you won't be able to leave the building.
It's a book. The Last of the Mohicans. James Fenimore Cooper. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
I have to congratulate you.
On what?
On beating your own system.
Well, now that Watson will be out of London, I trust you're satisfied with the rest of the arrangements?
I think the arrangements are adequate.
But?
In this kind of work, one very often develops an instinct. Is that not true, Superintendent? Well, my instinct at the moment tells me to worry still about Mr. Watson.
Well, he'll be on his train in 20 minutes' time.
I know you want to be commended for the way you have handled it.
Look, don't you worry. We'll keep an eye on him. He'll have 2 officers watching him until he gets on the train, and the local police will be alerted at the other end.
I'm very relieved to hear it. Even I must admit that if a man is not in London, he cannot do very much harm there.
Chief Inspector Jordan, 4820. It's Morrissey here, sir. Look, I'm afraid he's tricked us. Yes, sir, the 10:15's just pulled out without him. He got on, but he must have slipped off again before the train left. William saw him leave the platform, but couldn't quite get to him on time. No, sir, there's no sign.
You better bring him in, but you bring him in voluntarily.
Well, yes, sir, if we can spot him.
You better spot him.
Yes, sir. He wants us to bring Watson in if we can find him. Don't detain, he says. Just ask him to come in voluntarily. Seems to think it's all our bloody fault.
His description's been circulated. We're searching for him.
Yet now you will bring him into custody.
No. I only want an explanation. He's a free man. If he changes his mind and doesn't take a train, that is his right.
And when you find him, if you find him, and he has a gun or a bomb in his luggage...
Oh, that's a different matter.
What's the charge? I want to know.
No charge.
You made a telephone call to us.
Yes, I did.
Threatening the life of the Russian minister.
Now, did you or did you not make that call?
No, I did not.
Why'd you get off the train?
No, there's a law against getting off trains.
Listen to me, I'm warning you.
Now, just a minute, Inspector. Watson, you have a record for making threats and causing incidents. Now, cut out the clever stuff and answer our questions.
You have been put away for 30 years.
Listen to me, laddie, you're in trouble, you know. Tell me what...
The solicitor's here, sir. He's been waiting half an hour. Wants to see you right away.
All right, show him in.
I wanted to get another train.
You had no need to send for your
off the train.
solicitor, Mr. Watson.
Pardon?
You had no need to send for your solicitor.
Mr. Watson. It's well worth having a solicitor, isn't
Mr. Headage, sir.
Ah, how do you do,
Hello.
Mr. Headage? Here you come.
Superintendent, I really must protest at the way my client was
Do have a
dragged
chair.
here.
No. He came here entirely voluntarily.
In that case, he's free to go.
When he can no longer assist us, yes.
I've already told you, I can't help you. Oh, gentlemen, that's it then.
I'd like to
surely.
ask Mr. Watson just a few more
But
questions
he's already
if he would
told you he
mind.
can't help
Can
you.
I
I
go?
do. Or are you trying to stop me? Well, Superintendent?
Mr. Watson is free to leave.
Thank you. That was quite a do last Thursday, wasn't it?
Oh, there you are, not a shred to hold him on.
It makes you laugh, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wonder if it'll make Mogson laugh. Yeah. That just about scuttles the visit, I should think.
All I can say is I regret.
I have no alternative. I'm sorry. I could not say that.
We have done as much as we are able, sir. I think we can guarantee complete safety.
I must recommend postponement. Colonel Kamarov feels the risk is too great. Yeah.
Yes. I feel sure the man's just a crank, sir.
Crank.
Enthusiastic.
Oh, yes, but a threat has been made against the life of our minister. The man is a known danger. It is too serious.
I'm sorry.
Gentlemen. Still working out the final arrangements.
Well, Mr. Moxon, I
I'm
feel...
sorry you have worked so hard for nothing. The visit is off. Your minister will now meet with our people in New York. They're all going there for an emergency session of the Security Council so they can kill, if I may put it so, two birds with one stone.
I had not heard.
I am so sorry you have all worked so hard for nothing, but then we are all just the tools of our masters, aren't we?
But this is splendid news. They will have... Would you call it a mini-summit in New York? Much bigger than a visit here. Oh, excellent. Прекрасно. Well, gentlemen, vodka.
I wonder if you have a drop of whiskey.
Oh, yes, of course. Tax-free. We must have a toast to our security agents. Actually, I have some good news, which I was keeping until tomorrow. Miss Cherikova is flying to England. We are very happy that she should be married. It is a gesture of friendship. Come, let us drink a toast. It is nice sometimes to make a gesture of friendship.
Oh.
Zadrujvu.
Zadrujvu.
Cheers. 7 o'clock, Heathrow. You're a very lucky man. They set her free. You are now free to marry her.
She got a visa.
Of course. We Russians are a very sentimental people. We do not like to stand between lovers.
When did you say she'd be arriving?
7 o'clock. Well, now I suppose you'll be rushing off to see her. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's marvellous news, marvellous.
You're a very lucky man.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And a very happy man, would you say, Inspector?
Ecstatic.
He's waited a long time for this moment.
Too long. Thanks to your lot.
Now perhaps you understand why we do not let girls leave their homeland.
Now, wait a minute. You kept her there for 6 years. You never even gave them a chance.
I warned you when we met that Russians are very sentimental people.
Sentimental people don't give me sentimentality. You were going to set that girl free just to save the minister's visit.
What do you know about my country? What do you know about my people?
You lied to me.
The end will justify the means.
Oh, come off it. Now, don't start the end justifying.
What does he care about that girl? What kind of life is that girl going to have in this one?